If you've ever walked beside a quiet lake at dawn or dusk, you've almost certainly seen it. Two swans, gliding side by side, their long, graceful necks curving together to form a perfect heart shape. For hundreds of years, humans have looked at these birds and seen the ultimate symbol of eternal love, loyalty, and lifelong monogamy. We tell ourselves that swans choose one partner for life, and if that partner passes away, the surviving swan will grieve so deeply that it stops eating, stops thriving, and eventually dies of a broken heart. It has a story, so beautiful, so touching, that it has become part of fairy tales, wedding decor, and every romantic idea we hold about love in the natural world. But today, we're going to separate myth from science. We're going to answer two of the most asked questions about swans. Why are swans famously monogamous? And do they really mate for life in the way we think? Do they truly sacrifice their own lives to grieve for a lost partner? This is the real, unromantic, yet still amazing truth behind one of nature's most beloved love stories. First, let us get one clear definition straight. When scientists talk about swan relationships, they use the term social monogamy. This doesn't mean swans are perfectly faithful in every single biological sense. It means a male swan called a cob and a female swan called a pen form a long-term stable partnership. They live together, defend territory together, build a nest together, take turns incubating eggs, and raise their baby swans, called cygnets, together for months on end. For most common swan species, especially the mute swan, this partnership often lasts for many years, and in many cases, for the rest of their reproductive lives. That's why we call them monogamous. But this bond isn't built on human-style romance. It has built on survival, pure, practical, evolutionary survival, that has made swans one of the most successful waterfowl species on Earth. Let us break down the real reasons swans stick with one partner. The first and biggest reason is raising cygnets is extremely hard work. Unlike some birds, where the mother raises chicks alone, or the father leaves right after mating swan, babies are helpless for a very long time. A cygnet can't fly for 100 to 150 days after hatching. During that time, they're easy targets for foxes, large fish, eagles, and other predators. They need constant protection guidance to find food and warmth during cold nights. A single swan simply can't do all that alone. The cob guards the nest and the territory, fiercely chasing away any threat that comes near. The pen spends long hours incubating the eggs and keeping the cygnets close. When both parents work as a team, the survival rate of their young jumps dramatically. A new, untested pair would waste energy learning to communicate, coordinate, and defend their home. An established pair already knows each other's moves. They don't have to relearn how to build a nest, how to share duties, or how to fight off rivals. That reliability means more cygnets grow up to be adult swans, and that's what evolution cares about most, passing on genes to the next generation. The second key reason is territory defense. Swans are highly territorial birds. They need large, safe areas of water, with plenty of aquatic plants, small insects, and algae to eat. Good nesting spots are rare, especially in busy wetlands or lakes, shared by many water birds. A bonded pair can defend their home range much better than a single swan. The cob is especially bold when protecting his mate and future cygnets. He will hiss, charge, and even fight to keep intruders away. When a pair stays together year after year, they keep the same territory. They don't have to waste time and energy searching for a new mate or a new home every breeding season. That stability saves precious energy that goes straight into breeding and raising young. For swans, changing partners isn't a light choice. It's a risky one that could cost them their territory, their breeding chance, and the lives of their cygnets. Third, swans form these strong bonds early in life, which sets them up for long-term partnerships. Most swans pick their partner when they're 2 to 3 years old, even if they don't start breeding until they're a little older. They go through elaborate courtship rituals, synchronized swimming, dipping their heads in the water together, rubbing necks, and making soft, gentle calls to each other. These rituals aren't just for show. They help the pair recognize each other and strengthen their emotional connection. Over time, this bond becomes so strong that separating feels unnatural. Studies on mute swans, one of the most well-known species, show that around 97% of pairs stay together year after year, as long as breeding is successful. That's an incredibly high rate of loyalty, far higher than many other bird species. Now let us clear up a common myth. Swans don't stay together absolutely forever, no matter what. Scientists have documented something we can gently call swan divorce. It is rare, but it happens. When a pair fails to hatch eggs or raise cygnets several years in a row, they sometimes split up and look for new partners. The divorce rate jumps for pairs that can't successfully breed because evolution favors pairs that can produce healthy young. Some species are also less strictly monogamous than others. For example, black swans in Australia have higher rates of outside mating, meaning some cygnets have a different father than the pair's male partner, even though the social pair stays together. So the perfect, unbroken love story is a human idea, not a strict rule of nature. But that doesn't make their loyalty any less impressive. It just makes it real. Now let's tackle the second big question. Do swans really grieve for their partners so deeply that they die of a broken heart? This is the part of the swan myth that tugs at our heartstrings the most. We've all heard stories of a swan floating alone on a lake, calling out for its lost mate, refusing to eat, and wasting away until it passes away. Is there any truth to this? The short answer is, swans do grieve, but they don't intentionally sacrifice themselves or commit any kind of self-harm. Their grief is real, but it's not the romantic death for love we imagine. When a swan loses its partner, the surviving bird shows clear signs of distress. It may swim alone for hours or days, often staying near the place where its mate was last seen. It may make softer, sadder calls, or call out repeatedly, as if searching. Many bereaved swans stop preening their feathers, so their plumage looks messy and unkempt. Most importantly, they often lose their appetite. They don't eat as much as they should, which leads to weight loss and weakness. For older swans, or swans that have been paired for many years, this period of low activity and poor eating can lead to illness, and in some cases early death. But this isn't suicide or martyrdom for love. It is a natural response to losing a partner that was part of their daily survival system. Remember, swans rely on their partners for safety, for sharing duties, and for social comfort. When that partner is gone, the swan's whole routine falls apart. It no longer has a teammate to watch for danger, to help defend territory, or to provide companionship. Younger or stronger swans usually recover after a few weeks or months. They start eating again, join flocks, and eventually find a new partner. Older swans, however, may struggle more. They may not have the energy to look for a new mate or defend the territory alone. Their weakened state from not eating makes them more vulnerable to cold, sickness, or predators. So when we see a swan die after its partner, it is not choosing to die out of love, it's struggling to adapt to life alone, and its body can't handle the stress. Wildlife experts and bird watchers have documented these behaviors many times. One famous case involved a swan named Sally, who lost her partner Harry. Sally was seen every day, staring at her reflection in a school window, seemingly mourning her mate. Residents and experts agreed she was grieving, but she eventually returned to her normal life on the pond. Other swans have been seen abandoning their territory after a loss, only to return later and rebuild their lives. These stories show us that swans feel loss deeply, but they also have the ability to heal and move forward, just like many other intelligent social animals. It is also important to note that swans aren't the only birds that form long-term bonds. Many waterfowl, eagles, penguins, and other birds stay with one partner for years. But swans capture our imagination because of their size, their grace, and that iconic heart-shaped neck pose. We see ourselves in them, our desire for lifelong love, loyalty, and connection. And that is okay. It's wonderful that these birds inspire us to value faithfulness and care for one another. But we can love and appreciate swans even more when we understand their real lives, not just the myth we've made about them. Let us step back and look at the big picture. Swans are monogamous, not because they star-crossed lovers, but because it is the best way to raise their young, protect their home, and survive in the wild. Their loyalty is a masterpiece of evolution, shaped by thousands of years of trial and error. They grieve for their partners not because they're willing to die for love, but because they form deep, meaningful, social bonds that help them thrive. When a swan seems sad and alone, it's not acting out a fairy tale, it's experiencing a very real sense of loss, just like many intelligent animals do. Nature is full of these beautiful, complicated stories. We often want to turn animals into symbols of our own human feelings, but the truth is, always more interesting. Swans don't need our romantic myths to be amazing. They already incredible creatures, powerful flyers, gentle parents, fierce protectors, and loyal companions to their mates. They glide across lakes and rivers with quiet dignity, living out their lives in a way that's perfectly adapted to their world. Next time you see a pair of swans on the water, take a moment to watch them. Notice how they stay close, how they communicate with small movements, how they protect their space. You not just seeing a romantic symbol, you seeing a survival partnership that has stood the test of time. And if you ever see a single swan floating quietly, don't just think it's dying of a broken heart. Think of it as a bird going through a hard time healing, and maybe one day finding a new partner to glide beside. The natural world doesn't always follow our human stories, but it's always full of wonder, logic, and heart. Swans remind us that loyalty, partnership, and care are values that matter, not just to us, but to every living thing that fights to survive and thrive on this planet. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.